Hey, it's Kamali taking you through the stories people are talking about and sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Virgil Abloh, designer, influencer, and the new head of menswear at Louis Vuitton. Hundreds of thousands march for their lives in the United States. We ask how such organizing has changed in the digital age. Is this app set up by the Indian Prime Minister sending users' data to the US without their consent? And I played hours of them and didn't turn out too bad. We ask, video games, good or bad? All right, at the top of our news feed, Virgil Abloh. Now, he's just been appointed the new head of menswear for Louis Vuitton, and essentially the epitome of the influencer. He's no formal fashion training, meaning he didn't go to Central St. Martin's in London, but he founded his own label called Off-White, and it's huge. His Instagram is full of his designs, his travels, and his style. The other day, I was just coming back through the airport, and someone had his name just emblazoned across a jacket. Oh, and he hangs out with Kanye West a lot. Well, the announcement was greeted like this on Twitter. Virgil Abloh is breaking down walls. He doesn't come from a traditional design background. He's a rule breaker. This guy said that he went from designing covers for Kanye to working for Knife. Well, Adrien Pegon is the editor-in-chief of Le Sub, an online magazine dedicated to fashion. So, Virgil Abloh in at LVMH. How much of a game changer do you think this is for that old French fashion house?
The thing is that Vuitton is kind of an old brand, which is really ancient, and usually at some rather, let's say, sober and not like original creators. The thing is, Abloh, who basically has no fashion degree, who came from a specific background and who mostly had an internship with Kanye West at Fendi, like an LVMH brand. It's amazing. I mean, he's known for changing boundaries, breaking them, bringing new designs, being kind of ironic in its design. And for a brand like Vuitton, who used to be kind of classic, it's going to be amazing. I mean,
do you think they're going to be able to? Do you think they're going to be able to get the mix between that kind of classic look and the streetwear that Virgil Abloh is known for?
The thing is, we did add Kim Jones and Supreme before for Louis Vuitton, and people went crazy about collaboration. And I think that Abloh has the brain, the talents, and is, I think, smart enough to be able to balance efficiently streetwear and the legacy of Vuitton. I mean, it might be quite weird at first.
And it's not just that, though, is it? It's his influence as well. I mean, I follow him on Instagram. He's all over it. You see everything he's doing, from going to get picked up at the airport to having a meal. That kind of influence is what Louis Vuitton is also looking for.
I think so. The brand is now targeting millennials and younger customers. And Abloh has dozens or hundreds of fans, young fans all around the world. And someone like him can really bring that youth that Vuitton actually needs right now, I guess. So I think it's the right pick for it.
And he'll obviously be one of the only African-American, one of the only black guys at the head of an old fashion house. We've got Oliver Roosting over at Balmain, and of course, we've got Oswald Boateng in the UK. Do you think that we're seeing a change in fashion, and especially in black men being able to lead design houses?
To be fair, I wouldn't call it a specifically empowering move, because I think they picked him mostly because he's known, talented, is trending. The thing is, in fashion and luxury, things are still going in a racist way. I mean, you don't have that many black models in the industry, and we just had as you said, 2 black people before, and it's just the 3rd one. So things might be changing, but it's way too slow, I guess. Really, really way too slow. But he can change stuff. He has a lot of influence. And if someone can break things up and say, okay, guys, I may be the 3rd black man to the fashion and luxury house, but thing has to change, it can be the right one.
But this is the step, isn't it, Adrien? This is the step. I'm not saying this is going to change the world. I'm not saying this is going to change the world, but this is the step. It's a boundary breaker.
Yeah, it's a step, and I think things can change after him. But that's still something, I guess. Absolutely. Still a little thing, but still something.
Yeah, we wait and see what happens. All right, Adrien, from La Sub, thank you so much for joining us. All right, let me take you and have a look at what else is trending on social media. Well, this is Barcelona in Spain. Protesters have taken to the streets after news broke that Carles Puigdemont was being held by police in Germany. Now, he's wanted in Spain after he organised an independence referendum for Catalonia. Spain said that vote was illegal. The adult film actress Stephanie Clifford has been interviewed on US television, and she goes into detail of her alleged affair with Donald J. Trump in 2006. Well, he's now president of the United States. At the time of the alleged affair, his wife had just given birth to his son. Trump, who's known for tweeting, sometimes without even reading the tweet before pressing send, has not tweeted. And Captain Lisa Norman flew a 787 from Perth to London. It's the first for her airline and one of the longest non-stop flights on the planet. 17 hours, that's over 9,000 miles. But if that puts you off, there is a snack bar you can help yourself with at the back of the plane. And for plane geeks, economy seats are 17.3 inches, which is 81 centimetres. Now, students chanted "Never Again" as they took to the streets of the United States over the weekend. This was Washington. Some reporting says that these are the biggest the US has seen since the anti-Vietnam War marches of the 70s. They were demanding greater gun control. Now, hashtag Never Again has been used more than 2 million times. And one of the faces of the movement from the high school where 17 people were killed in February is Emma Gonzalez. Now, she wasn't on Twitter a month ago. She now has 1.3 million followers. No, it wasn't school shootings. It wasn't only school shootings on the agenda. This guy in New York told the media that he had lost his best friend to gun crime just around the corner. And activists fought for inclusivity in the debate that's being held.
What they will not do is ignore black voices. Number two, what they will make sure to do is include our agenda in the agenda for gun prevention reform. When we talk about legislative issues and solutions for gun violence, it has to include the intersections of black violence. That means guns, that means gangs, that means schools, that means teachers, that means police brutality, that means state violence. It has to include all of that stuff if we're going to be able to do this together.
Well, Tatiana's been covering this for us. So, Tatiana, do you think that these protests, these rallies can really make a difference in this gun debate?
Well, I mean, I think that, Kamali, we've already seen this make a difference in the gun debate, especially if you look at the state of Florida where this deadly shooting happened. It happened in Parkland, Florida. That state already upping the age of people who want to buy guns. Soon after the Florida legislature made that move, President Trump signaled that raising that age is something he was interested in. Certainly, he did walk that back. But the point is, all of this is being driven by these students since this deadly event happened. And I think that, you know, when you see that there are hundreds of thousands of people descending on the nation's capital and, you know, even more people going to cities around the country to call for these types of gun reform changes, you know, it's got to create just a little bit of awe. This was a movement by kids and for kids. Certainly it took adults to help make this happen. But, you know, you see the power of these young people. You see them calling for people to go to the polls and especially saying, you know, they might not have the power of the vote yet, but they will soon get it. So I think it's really incredible that you've seen them really create this momentum out of such adversity. And I think that because we're in the 2018 midterm elections, we'll see that at the polls. We'll see the results in the next couple of months, Kamali.
Absolutely. They made that point very clearly, didn't they, Tatiana, that these guys will be voting in the coming years, and if you support the NRA, then you're not getting our vote. Now, how much do you think that the fact that we live in this digital world, that this organising can happen better? Of course, there have been huge rallies on Washington before. We've had Martin Luther King, we've had rallies against the Vietnam War, but we're in a different age now. How much do you think that's played into the organising these kids were able to gen up?
Well, I think it makes the movement much quicker to occur. And of course, this is the generation of social media. We saw them use social media, manipulate social media to get exactly what they wanted. Hundreds of thousands of people in the nation's capital and cities across the country and around the world. I mean, this also helped people come to Washington, D.C. There were hundreds of residents here of the nation's capital that offered beds, couches, bedrooms. They were doing this all through social media, through Facebook Facebook, through websites. So when you look at how these young people were able to leverage this to make this movement happen, I think that it's pretty incredible. I mean, you've got to give them credit for that. And, you know, they're masters of this. In the old days, if you will, this type of social media, the internet wasn't available. They've seized upon something and they're running with it. And I think that, you know, all of the adults who are watching what they're doing should certainly take note, because Kamali, I don't think this is the end of it.
It's definitely not. Tatiana, thank you. Well, you kind of missed the story around Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, but it's not just in the United States and Europe where this company has been active. They learned their trade influencing elections in some African nations. Here's Tamina.
If you want to hear about the Facebook scandal in relation to the US, then this isn't that video. This is about data harvesting in developing countries, and it's something we need to talk about. We've all seen the scandal unfold.
The company is reeling from revelations that they allowed the private information of 50 million Americans to be harvested by the Trump campaign's consulting firm.
But companies have been using developing countries as testing grounds for data harvesting for some time. Kenya has one of the fastest internet speeds in the world and a young population, as well as lax regulations on digital privacy, making it a viable testing ground. In the 2017 election in Kenya, which was referred to by many as Africa's most expensive election, President Uhuru Kenyatta reportedly paid $6 million to Cambridge Analytica. The data company used Facebook and WhatsApp to propagate fake news and spread targeted ad campaigns. Videos like this were circulating online. And it isn't an isolated incident. Cambridge Analytica also reportedly played a role in the 2013 Kenyan elections. These data manipulations weaken the political institutions of developing countries and impact fragile democracies. And it's not just Kenya. Similar breaches have been reported from countries like Malaysia, Nigeria and Argentina. Everyone's pointing fingers at the big tech companies. But let's not forget who facilitates this kind of behaviour. Many of these governments have set up loose legal frameworks that allow for data manipulation and misuse. Though the big tech companies are facing public anger, some governments are shrugging off their responsibilities.
Well, a country where social media is having a huge impact on the democratic process is India. And this story is again about personal data. Now, an app launched by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is accused of illegally sending its users' data to a server based in the United States. Now, it was exposed by someone who tweets under the pseudonym, you can see it there, Elliot Anderson. Apparently, this shows the user data being sent to a third party with a US domain name. Now, the ruling party in India, the BJP, said that this data is being used for only analytics using third-party services similar to Google Analytics. And the user data is done offering users the most contextual content, whatever that means. Well, Pratik Sinha is the co-founder of Alt News in India. So we've heard that from the BJP, Pratik. Do you buy their kind of denial that there's nothing to see here?
No, that is not true. Firstly, the data is not being sent to a US server. It's actually being sent to an Indian server. But the fact is that the data is being sent without any consent. We ran a story on Alt News and we showed how, when you're transacting data from the Narendra Modi mobile app, it actually is, and you're registering. If you register on the mobile app, the registration information is actually being sent to the server, in.wzrkt.com, and at no point in the whole process is any consent being asked as to whether the user wants his personal data to be sent to this third-party website.
Okay, Pratik, thank you for your time. Now, after last week's record-breaking online gaming session between Drake and Ninja, we thought we'd look at gaming and pose a binary question. Good or bad? I'll give you my answer after you watch this.
Twitch streamer Ninja went viral after playing Fortnite with Drake, breaking the record for the highest amount of subscribers and concurrent views on Twitch, reaching over 600,000. It's no hidden secret, people are making millions playing computer games. The global gaming industry generated over $100 billion in revenues in 2017. Does this mean gaming addiction is on the rise? Collectively, gamers worldwide spend a minimum of 3 billion hours a week gaming, and up to 15% of them show signs of addiction. The World Health Organization recognised gaming addiction as a mental health condition in 2017, saying gaming has increasingly taken precedence over other life interests. Symptoms may include having impaired control over gaming and increasing interest in gaming over other life priorities. But not all researchers agree that video games are harmful or addictive activity. They do help develop psychomotor skills and intellectual ability, from problem solving to decision making. Video games have been found to assist children with dyslexia by helping them focus their attention more efficiently, to extract the relevant information of a written word more rapidly. So, how has gaming affected you?
All right, my answer, yay! Well, that's all from the NewsFeed team. Do reach out to me with your questions, complaints, suggestions at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe, add and follow. I will see you tomorrow.